and Charles Davis.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Yeah, so excited to have Charles Davis here in studio with us. We're getting ready for championship weekend, but you heard Tommy mention it, a Bo Nix-less Broncos offense. So that means that Jarrett Stidham will attempt his first pass of the season in an AFC championship game. What do you anticipate this Broncos offense looks like with him under center?
Well, with Bo Nix, we saw a lot more movement plays, right? We saw Bo Nix as part of the run game. We saw Bo Nix in half rollouts, bootlegs, things of that nature. I don't think we'll see as much of that with Jarrett Stidham. He's much more of a pocket passer, 3-step, 5-step, ball out of his hands to his receivers. The tough thing for him, besides getting acclimated and playing for the first time in, how long was it, 2023?
Yep.
Is that you have two receivers who may be down. Troy Franklin got hurt in the ball game. Pat Bryant gets hurt in the ball game. Both of them may not be available. So Evan Ingram, the tight end, who's a move tight end, may have to take up some of that slack for some of those receivers, as well as Cortland Sutton has to be involved in the game much earlier than he was in the last ball game against Buffalo. So we'll see how that goes. But there's a proud history of these backup quarterbacks. Nick Foles is back in. Jeff Hostetler with the Giants coming in for Phil Simms and winning a Super Bowl. We've seen these things happen before, and I'm going to go way back machine with you. Earl Morrall twice. Entire season with the Colts when Johnny Unitas was hurt. They got beat by the Jets in the Super Bowl. Almost the entire season for the Dolphins in their 17-0 season before Bob Greasy made it back for the second half of the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. Backup quarterbacks can get it done.
Yes, and just one win away from a Super Bowl, which is absolutely insane. We might not know a whole lot about Jarrett Stidham, but I will say there's a bit of a revenge factor with this too, facing the Patriots, which was the team who originally drafted him.
And he never made a start for the Patriots either.
Never made. He was supposed to come in and be the heir apparent to Tom Brady, and now he is playing in an AFC Championship game against those Patriots. Who wins this game and punches their ticket to the Super Bowl?
Well, I know everybody's leaning heavily towards New England. We just made the case of why Denver can play. Don't forget that great defense led by Vance Joseph that can throttle you at different times, especially with their pass rush. But I'm going with New England. I love the way that they're playing the game. It's not just a Drake Mason MVP candidate. They ran the ball with authority to close the game out against Houston and their #1 ranked defense. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they just kept taking it away from Houston. They're playing with verve. They're playing with aggression. They're playing with confidence. I like what Mike Vrabel's done with this team. No, I love what Mike Vrabel has done with this team. I think they go to Denver to the rare air and get it done and head off to the Super Bowl.
Wow, so it'll be Mike Vrabel's first appearance in a Super Bowl as a head coach, but who will they be playing? Well, it'll be somebody from the NFC West. We know that. It's going to be a rubber match between the Seahawks and the Rams in the NFC Championship game. What can we anticipate from round 3? We've already seen these teams play a couple times.
We certainly have, and let's face it, you don't fool each other very much, right? So what do you do as a complementary piece to things you've shown before? I've shown this. Now let me show you something a little bit different from what I've done. The other part is the Rams. They've been traveling around like crazy. They've made a lot of West Coast to East Coast. Different trips during the playoffs, been on the road the entire time. How much do they have reserved in the tank? But they do have Matthew Stafford, who may very well be the MVP this year. He played a heck of a game. When you look at the final numbers against Chicago, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but he knew where to go with the ball. He knew the right things to do. Plus, they ran it really well with Kyren Williams. That's going to be fun. But they're going up against the Seattle defense. It is so good across the front. Ernest Jones at linebacker. Then you get back into the secondary, and the big matchup's going to be who's going to guard Puka Nacua? Is it Devin Witherspoon? Is it Reek Woolen? Right? Where do you go with it? Is it Nicky Manwari, the outstanding rookie? They've got different body types to match up with him. I think Seattle feels really good about the fact they have to come to see them in the Emerald City, and the 12s will be there with that defense. The biggest thing, Sam Darnold, just don't turn it over.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes, that's all it will take to win this game. That's all it took to win the last game. A very easy, I guess, game for them in the divisional round.
Yeah, it was.
It hasn't been easy for the Rams.
No.
So if we're looking at the path with both these teams clashing in the NFC Championship game, who moves on to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think Seattle moves on. I think what you just mentioned at the end is a big factor in this ball game. I love what Sean McVay does, and they can win any game they play. They're talented enough, but this is a lot to continue to ask of them. Sam Darnold came in with an oblique injury, didn't have to do a whole lot, only threw it 17 times and was out of the game in the third quarter. So that only helps him get a little additional rest, get ready to go in this one. Again, it comes down to him. A steady ball game out of Sam Darnold. They ran it real well with Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet will get more carries in this ball game. I just think that Seattle at home holds serve on this one. Another good ball game, but out of the NFC West, finally it gets decided. the #1 seed moves on.
We all anticipated that an NFC West team would probably end up here, but man, you're looking just at the quarterback matchup between these two teams. We were not expecting a Drake May versus Sam Darnold for all the marbles in Santa Clara. So what are your early impressions of this potential matchup here in the Super Bowl?
I just love this game, and of course the quarterbacks will take center stage, but to me it's the defenses in the ball game. The way the Patriots have played down the stretch, and remember, Terrell Williams is supposed to be the defensive coordinator. Unfortunately, ill, can't coach during the season. They're T-strong, as they call it, right? Zach Kerr has come in and done an excellent job as the interim defensive coordinator. But he also has Mike Vrabel, who's a defensive whiz, who's over there on his side. That helps big time. Flip it over. Mike McDonald made his bones as a defensive guy. That's how he got the head coaching job. Still continues to call defense for Seattle. Both will be aggressive. Both will be very good at what they do. How they slow down the running games of both teams will help decide this one and take some of the pressure off of these quarterbacks.
Only one team can win, though. Charles Davis, who is your pick to win Super Bowl 60?
The New England Patriots are back, folks.
All right,
the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl. Drake May, second year in the league. He goes a step further. Remember, Patrick Mahomes got to the AFC title game in his second year. Tom Brady took his measure. In this case, Drake May gets a step farther, gets to the Super Bowl, and his second year in the league, wins the whole thing. He and Mike Vrabel ride back to New England, back to Foxborough with another Lombardi trophy. And this one doesn't have Tom Brady's name on it.
No, that would be absolutely insane. After everything that's happened today, too, it's Mike Vrabel is the longest tenured coach in the AFC East and winning a Super Bowl for the first time.
As they say in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, life comes at you fast.
It does, certainly. Yeah, Mike Vrabel could win his first Super Bowl as a coach, won 3 as a player for the Patriots. But, yeah, we got to talk about Drake May, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
23-year-old would be the youngest QB to ever win a Super Bowl. Charles Davis, we love having you in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your predictions. We'll see what Vegas thinks about this. Vegas likes the Seahawks.
League, and it's going to look a lot like divisional round Saturday because we had the Broncos hosting the early game and the Seahawks hosting the late game. That's what we get this Sunday. The Patriots in Denver, 3 o'clock Eastern time on CBS and Paramount Plus, followed by the Rams in Seattle at 6:30 Eastern time. Tyler Sullivan and John Breach going to give us their picks and props for the rest of the NFL postseason, and we'll start with the NFC Championship game, rubber match of a series that was decided by 1 and 2 points respectively in the regular season. Seahawks, a slight home favorite here. That's just a home field advantage, 2.5 points there. Sully, what's your play?
Yeah, no, I think I take the Seattle Seahawks well over that 2.5. I think that this is one of those scenarios where I look at the rest of this playoff field and I ask myself, which team has their superpower and how much of an advantage of that is against these other teams? I look at this Seattle defense, and I think it's the biggest superpower remaining in the NFL playoffs. And the fact that the Rams didn't look great last night, and they didn't look great against the Chicago defense that is not particularly good. They are not the Seattle Seahawks whatsoever. So I know the elements were a factor. Obviously, the weather was there, the snow, and all of that. But you're still going to get the outside environment in Seattle, and Matthew Stafford going up against this Seahawks defense. I just don't know if they can really stop anybody at this point. So I'm taking the Seahawks here.
I am going the opposite side, Solly. We disagree. I am going to take the Rams to win, to cover, to everything. I think when you look at these two games, the first meeting, the Rams won because Sam Darnold had a meltdown, 4 interceptions. The second meeting, the Rams blew a 30-14 fourth quarter lead. As bad as the Rams offense looked against the Bears, the wind chill was like 5 degrees. It's going to be in the 40s in Seattle. Rams can play in that weather. Matt Stafford threw for 457 yards in that second meeting against what is supposed to be the best defense in the NFL. So I do think he can dice up that Seahawks secondary. And let's not forget, Devontae Adams was not on the field in Week 16. He will be on the field this week. He led the Rams in receiving touchdowns this year. So that's a huge weapon for Stafford to have. And the other reason I like the Rams is because of Chris Shula. He knows all of Sam Darnold's weaknesses. Sam Darnold is 1-3 against the Rams since the start of last season. He's been sacked 16 times. He's thrown 7 interceptions. It has been brutal. I think the Rams defense takes advantage of Darnold, and the Seahawks dealing with a rough injury at running back. I think that hurts too. So I'm taking the Rams to win and cover.
That's the Rams team that took care of Sam Darnold when he was at the Vikings a season ago. As Breach mentioned, weather not expected to be a factor in that game or the AFC Championship game, not like we saw last night in Chicago or earlier in the weekend as well. In the AFC, we've got it on CBS. Jarrett Stidham facing the team that drafted him in 2019, but Sully making just his 5th career start.
Yeah, and that's why I'm taking the New England Patriots here. Yes, homer pick here, taking New England, New England guy taking New England, but I just have a hard time imagining Jarrett Stidham, even in Denver, taking down this Patriots defense. And to me, that's been one of the biggest stories of this postseason. Of course, we've all talked about Drake May throughout the season and the MVP conversation, but the thing that has struck me this playoffs is the Patriots defense really ascending into an elite unit. You obviously, CJ Stroud contributed to that the other day, but 4 interceptions, 5 total turnovers in that game against the Houston Texans. They were able to pressure Justin Herbert in the wild card round. I just have a hard time imagining that if CJ Stroud and Justin Herbert, if they can't get the job done against this defense, I can't see Jarrett Stidham, albeit in his own building at Mile High, going and lighting up this Patriots defense.
I think that pretty much everyone is going to be on the Patriots this week, so I'm just going to give some Broncos fans. You Broncos fans out there, I'm going to give you a sliver of hope. Let's not forget, Drake May was the 4th most sacked quarterback in the NFL this year. He has to face a Broncos defense that not just led the league in sacks, they had the 5th most sacks of any defense in NFL history. Drake May has been sacked 10 times in the postseason so far, 5 times in each game. Drake May has turned the ball over 5 times in the postseason so far, 3 lost fumbles, 2 interceptions. If you start hitting him, he starts fumbling the ball. That is what has happened in the past 2 games. And so for the Broncos, their defense is going to have to keep them in this game, and they're going to have to be able to run the ball. Denver is 7-0 this year when they rush for 120 yards or more. And that's the recipe. You got to take the game out of Jarrett Stidham's hands and ask your defense to force a couple turnovers. You're at home. The crowd is on your side. The last time a favored Patriots team went into Denver for an AFC title game, Tom Brady lost to a washed-up Peyton Manning. I think the Broncos cover, but I think the Patriots win.
Okay, Broncos cover, but Patriots in. So you guys both have Patriots Super Bowl rematches. Sully with the rematch of the game where they should have just given it to Marshawn at the 1. The Patriots won in 2015 against the Seahawks. Breach, you have a rematch of New England's last Super Bowl title, 2018, against the Rams. You each get 20 seconds. Breach, you can start. Give us your Super Bowl winner and MVP.
Hey, look, this game is going to give us the top 2 MVP candidates from all season. Drake May versus Matthew Stafford. I don't think the year could end any better. Which quarterback is going to be able to outduel the other one? I like Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to throw for over